Hi, in this video I go over the real numbers that are happening in the real estate market here in Northeast Florida. So if you're somebody who's interested in buying or selling, relocating up here in the Jacksonville metro area of Northeast Florida, this video is for you. I cover the active listings. I look at what's sold, I look at what's pending, look at the new construction, look at interest rates, put it all together, and I put it all together in charts for you so we can compare. I've been doing this now. This is week 46. That's right, this show Bubble Watch, week 46. And this way you get to see the trend on what's really happened, to see if that real estate bubble is going to burst or we're going to crash here in Jacksonville, and help you give the information for you to decide. Hey, we're going to get to all this information in 3. Hi, I'm Tom Kerr, and I'm your host of this show, Bubble Watch. Hey, you know what? I'm just a regular guy who happens to be a real estate agent up here in the Jacksonville metro area. That's right, up here in Northeast Florida, I have access to the Northeast Florida MLS system, and what I do is every week I share the back end of that to show you the real numbers in real estate. We just don't go by those scary headlines or those other YouTube videos that all have gloom and doom. Now, can anything happen? Can we go into a recession? Could we crash? All that. Could it be 2008 all over again? Yes, it's possible, but I show you what's been happening for the last 46 weeks and let you decide what you want to do, whether you're going to buy or sell. Hey, you know what? I get calls literally now every day from folks all over the country asking about the market here in Florida or looking to relocate. And if after watching this video you feel like you'd like to use me as your real estate agent to relocate up here or even to sell in this area, just contact me at this number here. You can send me a text or give me a call, or if you choose to shoot me an email, shoot it at this email address you see below. Hey, all right, now let's get to these facts. We're going to go back into the MLS, and as always, we start off with those active listings. Active listings here in Northeast Florida, 5,560, okay? Now let's take a look and see what was sold. We're going 1 week back. 573. Next is contingent taking backup, and we're going to see how many of those are under contract right now with a contingency, and that's 957. Next we're looking at pending, and these are that went to the pending status in 1 week, in this last week, last 7 days. 771. Next we're going to take a look and see how many people withdrew their listings in this last week. These were listings that were for sale and then they withdrew their listing. That total is 78. Next we're going to look at how many people let their listings expire in this last week. That's where they expired and they didn't relist, so the home came off the market. That's 124 people that did that. Now we're going to take a look and see what those new homes did. And the first thing we're going to look is the new home sales. How many sold in this last 7 days? 128. And out of the active listings available, how many are new homes? 1,684 are new homes that are available. All right, next let's take a look at those foreclosure numbers. And in this is what I do is I look at foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, and short sales. Okay, out of the active listings, those that are in foreclosed status are 14. Those that are in pre-foreclosure status is 13. And the amount of active sales that are in short sale status is 12. All right, now that we got our numbers there, now I put them into those charts to make it easy to compare with the previous week or weeks going back. And that way you can see a pattern. So before we start the charts, I always go through, we look at those interest rates, we look at the price per square foot here in the Jacksonville area. And then also we look at that inventory level to see it up or down, because inventory levels have been going down. I know there's been some headlines, there's some YouTube videos that say inventory is increasing, but we haven't seen it here. So let's take a look and see what those numbers are. Well, what I want to start with first here, we're going to go with those interest rates, okay? And here we are with the 30-year fixed. We see last week we ended at 6.44 and we ended up at 6.59. So we had 3 arrows down and 3 arrows up, so a mixed blend there. We're still below that 7. Okay, now VA mortgages are generally a little less. Let's see what they are. There we are. We were at 5.75 last week. Now we're into the 6s. We ended up at 6.12. And as you can see, we got a mixed bag there, up and down, and then no change earlier in the week. FHA mortgages, generally even a little bit better. Let's see what they came out. Last week they were at 5.72, ended up at 6.05, which is pretty good. Again, the mixed arrows up and down, and again, look at that prior year over there. Prior year at this time 1 year back was 4.38. And notice we're starting to get closer now as we go on into these weeks of getting close to that prior year. All right, now let's look at what's the cost per square foot. All right, let's move this into the 6 months so we can look at this. All right, 188, it's been like this now for 4 weeks. The last time it did that was right up here, was in November, okay, in the beginning of December, where it stayed 4 weeks at the same price, and that was 194. This we got to watch, because I've been seeing, you know, some prices starting to go up on stuff. And I was showing you, I think last week I showed you some headlines showing that where the market has been going up in certain places. And Florida is one of those places, okay? So, you know, have we gotten to that point where we bottom out? So what do you do as a buyer? Do you sit back and wait, you know, like everyone tells you to? Or, you know, if you need to move or you have to get a house, you know, do you make that, you know, call right now? Well, you know, that's why I show you these every week, so you can decide, because I can't predict the future. I'm not clairvoyant. I know I got some people that say they are, but it's, you know, like I says, anything can happen, but I just show you the real numbers every week. All right, now let's look at the inventory levels that are right next to this chart. All right, here let's put it out at 6 months, and when we do that, you can really see, like, look at how these inventory levels have dropped. And then we, you know, when we look at the chart, we're really going to see that and see what happens. Now, you know, we're going to put these charts together here for you and compare everything and see how these numbers reflect with what we actually see here. But first, I want to show you a headline, which kind of goes, you know, everyone's saying that we were going to crash market. That's why I started this series 46 weeks ago, because that's when people thought the market was going to crash, and everyone thought the end was coming at the end of the year or the beginning of this year. But check out this one headline, and then we'll go to the charts. Don't expect the housing market, now this is from Barron's, don't expect the housing market to crash. A slow rebound is coming, our Roundtable pros say. Okay, their roundtable or people in the industry that they've put together to get opinions and stuff and analyze things. So right there, I've been saying this all along, okay, that this isn't a crash, it's a correction, okay? So, you know, we're not seeing the 2008, like some people thought this was a repeat of. At least right now, I don't see it, okay? And a lot of it has to do with people having equity in their homes, and that's what we show too in House of the Week. All right, let's get to those charts. All right, here we are, week 46. We ended up active listings 5560. We see that is down, okay? With the exception of last week where it blipped up a little bit, we really dropped a lot. So we're following that trend of a shortage in inventory. Solds 573. Here we go again. Are you kidding me? I mean, we're jumping up. Inventory's going down, solds are going up. Of course, this is this area of Florida. Now, it may not be the same in South Florida, Central Florida, or over on the west coast of Florida. But this is what's happening here. These are the real numbers, okay? All right, let's get back to them. Contingent taking backup, 957. Pending, 771. Both increases, okay, over the last couple of weeks. I mean, holy cow, going several weeks back. That's huge. The total, 1728 under contract. This is this is pretty dramatic. I mean, we're going to go back to the chart. I'm going to pan it out a little bit more so that you can see some more previous weeks, but holy cow, these are people that put in an offer, got accepted on the prices that are today, okay, at these square footages. And we're going to look at those charts to see how much percent went below list, at list, and above list, and also how many houses sold at over 500,000. But man, I'm even surprised when I see the numbers. I know there's been a lot more activity. I didn't expect to see it jump this much here. All right, let's finish out these numbers. All right, people that withdrew their listings. More people withdrew this week, 78. Why? I don't know. I mean, it's not a big amount, but it is an increase. Expired, the amount of people that let their listings expire was down 124, and that could be because that we've got more sales, so those houses were going under contract. New homes sold, 128. Again, this isn't supposed to be happening, right? Although, remember those headlines I was showing that says like that there's been some changes in uptick. New home sales are picking up in areas, okay? Certain areas. I think mostly it was the South, but you know, we're just dealing with North Florida here. But I'm seeing it. I'm out there when I'm driving around and I'm in these new construction sites. I see building like crazy. I see lots being cleared. I see new slabs being poured. You know, walls going up. Man, I see a lot of activity, and this is showing it. All right, how many of the active listings are new homes that are available for sale? Right there, 1,684, a slight drop, but still up from the other weeks. So let's take a look at those other weeks prior. And like I said, you know, I'll just put it there just for a bit so you can take a snapshot as we go back to those previous weeks. All right, a couple of things that we've seen in these numbers here is, you know, inventory is down, but sales are up. Okay, pending sales are really up. So let's check out some headlines to see if they go along with what we're seeing up here in Northeast Florida. Okay, right here now, this headline here, high number of buyers still move state to state. Okay, that means they're going out. All right. Now this here is going to go along with, you know, that's going to have to do with increase in the sales, and then also, you know, the price. If more people coming into the state. Okay, so here we are. This is really amazing. Right here, look at this. Of the buyers nationwide seeking a home, 1 in 4, 25%, look to relocate to a new metro area in February. A year earlier it was 22.9. So it's up the amount of people that are looking to move to a different area. Before the COVID thing, it was about 18%. So it has dramatically increased. For state to state movers, 5 of the top 10 go to Florida. Look at this. Out of the top 10 in the country, Florida has 5. Miami, Tampa, Orlando, Cape Coral, and Northport, Sarasota. Well, the hurricane didn't seem to bother them down there over that side, did it? Now, Jacksonville's not on there, okay? Okay, these are state to state, okay? You know, people moving out there. Now, think about this. You look at this here, where are the top places? Okay, Miami, Tampa, Orlando, right there, those 3. Those have high populations, okay? And they're getting overcrowded even more than other places. All of Florida is right now. But even though, you know, these areas are the top flooding out. So what happens? The people that are there in Miami, Tampa, and Orlando right now are getting squeezed out. So where are they coming? They still want to stay in Florida. So they're picking Northeast Florida. Looks even better. And I mean, the whole Jacksonville metro area is a huge area, and part of that is Palm Coast even. And Palm Coast, I mean, it just has a lot of activity over there because they're along the coast. And why is it so popular? Well, the people that live like on Tampa by the coast, on the West Coast, or in South Florida by the Atlantic, side, they still want to be near the ocean and stuff, so a place like that is desirable for them. Although, however, anywhere that you live around up in this area, I mean, you're generally, an hour to an hour and a half most to get to the ocean, so you can spend a day and come back. Man, all right, check out this other headline too. More home sellers are sitting out of the spring housing market. Right here it says, it seems like a great time to list your home for sale. Buyers are flooding back into the market. We're seeing that in the sales. Mortgage rates have fallen off their recent highs. They're below the 7%, and there are still far too few homes for sale to meet demand, but potential sellers aren't budging. And why is that? Because a lot of the sellers have some of those low interest rates, and they don't want to give that up to buy another house and move somewhere and pay double what they had there. That definitely is a big factor in this. All right, let's look now at some more charts and see what's going on, and let's look at those foreclosures. All right, here we go, week 46. We're at foreclosures 14, pre-foreclosures 13, short sales 12, total 39, so it actually went down one. So I don't see no trend like the predictions last year were, and this definitely isn't 2008. All right, here we look at how did people pay for those homes. Week 46, 27 paid cash. That's a big drop from last week and some of those other weeks. We haven't seen that since week 42. All right, conventional mortgage 42. So conventional is king, not cash. FHA 14 about the same, VA about the same, and others about the same. All right, now we're going to take a look at those charts that show how many homes over 500,000 sold? I mean the percentage of the whole sales, and also how many sold at list, below list, and above list percentage-wise. All right, here we go. Out of all the homes sold, those that sold at 500,000 above, 23%, a jump up. Could that be with the prices going up? I'm seeing it in new construction, and that's where there's a lot of higher priced homes. Homes that sold under list, 74%. About the same, but the big jump right here is homes that sold at list, 24%. And where did that come from? Homes that sold above list, 2%. I had to run those numbers a few times because I couldn't believe it, but that's what they came out to be. So I think what is happening is more people now that are selling their homes realize it's not 2021 anymore, okay? And they're pricing them more accordingly to sell, okay? And like I said, last week I was talking about, I'm seeing multiple offers back in the picture again, and above list also. So now here, this doesn't show that much, so the ones I saw, I guess, must have been a small percentage, but I am seeing multiple offers. And some of those multiple offers could go at list price, which we see that increase because everyone wanted to give like 50,000 below list, and maybe now those multiple offers are pushing like towards the list price, and that's why we saw that big jump. We'll see. All right, what did new construction do? All right, from week 46, homes that sold under list, 76, about the same. Homes that sold at list, 13, a little bit up. And homes that sold above list, down, okay, 4%. So we are seeing that, again there, less homes sold above list and an increase in the homes that sold list, even in the new construction. All right, what's next? All right, everything else has been covered. So we've got House of the Week. This week, it's a little bit different in that I've got Houses of the Week. That's right, I got two houses to show you. So let's take off and look at the first house. We're going to see one extreme to the other. That's what we're comparing. Let's look at that first house. All right, this house here, original list price, $385,000, okay? Ended up on the market only 18 days, which again is incredible that we're seeing these shorter on the market days. It wasn't long ago, they were 45 to 60 days. Sold price, $400,000. Wait a minute. $15,000 above their asking price. I'm telling you, it's happening again. But what's even more amazing too is here, look at this. I showed this last week. Check out in the remarks. Right here in the remarks, multiple offers, best and final due by February 26th by 7 p.m. All right. Now, the house went on the market on the 23rd. So in 3 days, they had so many offers, they put a stop to it and just said, now, some of you question, okay, we're looking at February, what's that got to do? We're in March now with the sales and all. Well, what happens is the sold doesn't get recorded until after it closes. So it just, it took that long till we ended up closing. That's why you see the difference in the February and March where we're in today. So, but on the market, basically, 3 days to get, before they decided to ask for the last offers, okay, and then when they finally accepted an offer, it wasn't that day right there. It could have been a few days after. But that's incredible. All right, now let's look at the other side. Since this was an increase, okay, I was thinking about the other side was that would be a loss. Let's see what they paid for it and that appreciation calculator, all that. I forgot to do that because I had another house, so it messed me up here. All right, let's look at the regular numbers of what they paid for it and their appreciation they made on this house, okay? All right, this house was bought back in 2020, okay, for $253,000. So they bought it at the right time, right before the 2021 mess, okay? And then they ended up selling it for $400,000. Okay, now they've only had it for 2 years, so some people say, well, they may have put a lot of money into it. Well, I'll tell you what, in a description, if they put something into it, they're going to show it. And what was missing out of this was, I looked at the seller's disclosure, which tells things. There was no age for the roof, okay, on there. Believe me, if you put a new roof, you're gonna say it. Nothing about the air conditioning, the age, or when it was built. So if you would replace that, even if it's 2015 or something, it'll show. But these folks didn't have it, so it may have been already replaced before they had it. The point is, they didn't do it, okay? What they did do, though, was shortly after they had it, maybe about 6 months or so, they did replace the septic tank and the drain field, which, you could run another like $10,000 or $12,000 there, okay? But let's see what that appreciation is, because we see what they paid for it and we see how much they sold. What was the appreciation? All right, as you look here, by purchasing that house, 253, sold it, we're just a little over 400 there. When we look at the time period they had it for, okay, just under 3 years, 18%, okay? Well, they definitely benefited from that 2021 and early 2022 price increases. So they made out. So 18% is huge, okay? Now let's look at the other side. I hear my computer cooking the numbers, I guess. It's making a lot of noise again. I don't know why it keeps doing that. But this house here was original list, $315,000. Was on the market 216 days, okay? They put this one on the market back in May of last year, okay? Now we're looking at, they sold it for $260,000, okay? This here again, remember that April, May area, June was the worst time to buy a house if you're reselling it. And here we are again. It was another one that investors, one of those iBuyers that was going to try to make a quick flip, but the market changed faster than they could flip it and they ended up getting stuck. Let's see what they bought it for and what kind of a loss they took. All right, here we see they actually bought it there in the beginning of April, so they must have put a little bit into fixing it because they actually didn't put it on the market until next month and the following month in May. But they bought it for $273,500, okay, and then ended up selling it for $260,000. And when you put the numbers together, that comes out to a loss of $13,500. So again, if you're looking to buy a house and you want to see like some of these homes, from these iBuyers that bought their home, you look and see when they bought the house, if they, or how long they've been on the market, and you just calculate back, then you're going to know when they bought the house. But if they were bought, and there's some still out there that were bought in that period, you know, April through June of last year, you might be able to get a pretty good deal on it now, considering how things have gone up in price and how now more buyers are in the market. You know, you really gotta balance this out with your own self as to what you're going to do. So I hope looking at these numbers and putting them all together in these charts and showing these houses of the week helps you in your decision on whether to buy or to sell.